The United States has issued a stark warning to Israel: cease fire on UN peacekeepers in Lebanon. This urgent plea follows two alarming incidents in just 48 hours where UN soldiers were injured by Israeli fire. These incidents, involving troops from Sri Lanka and Indonesia, have heightened tensions in an already volatile region. The US, deeply concerned by the escalating violence between Israel and Hezbollah, is urging all parties to prioritize the safety of the peacekeepers. Their presence is critical to maintaining stability, and any attack on them is unacceptable. To understand the current situation, one must look back at the decades-long conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. This conflict has deep historical roots and has shaped the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. Hezbollah, a powerful militant group and political force in Lebanon, has long been a thorn in Israel's side. Formed in the early 1980s, Hezbollah has grown in strength and influence, becoming a significant player in regional politics. Their skirmishes and wars have resulted in significant casualties and instability in the region. The human cost has been immense, with countless lives lost and communities devastated. The current escalation stems from a series of events, including rocket attacks launched from Lebanon into Israel and retaliatory strikes by the Israeli Defense Forces. These incidents have further fueled tensions and brought the region to the brink of a larger conflict. This cycle of violence has trapped civilians in a deadly crossfire and threatens to ignite a wider regional conflict. The international community watches with concern, hoping for a resolution that can bring lasting peace to this troubled area. The UN peacekeeping force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, has been deployed since 1978 to maintain peace along the volatile border. Their mission is extremely dangerous, caught between two heavily armed adversaries. The recent incidents involving Sri Lankan and Indonesian soldiers highlight the perilous reality of their work. While the Israeli Defense Forces claim these were cases of mistaken identity during clashes with Hezbollah, the incidents have sparked international condemnation. The UN is conducting a thorough investigation to determine the facts and ensure the safety of its peacekeepers. Section 4. Global outrage calls for restraint and accountability. The international community has reacted with alarm and anger at the firing upon UN peacekeepers, an act that has sparked widespread condemnation and calls for immediate action. World leaders, including those from France, Italy, and Spain, have publicly condemned Israel's actions, expressing their deep concern over the escalation of violence. They are calling for immediate restraint and respect for the neutrality of the peacekeepers, emphasizing the importance of maintaining peace and stability in the region. The UN Security Council convened an emergency meeting to address the situation, highlighting the urgency of the matter, demanding a de-escalation of hostilities and a return to diplomatic negotiations. They have also called for a thorough investigation into the incidents to ensure accountability and prevent future occurrences. The message is clear. Attacks on those tasked with keeping the peace are unacceptable and will not be tolerated. The world stands united in its demand for justice and accountability. Section 5. A looming humanitarian crisis. Beyond the immediate security concerns, the escalating conflict is creating a dire humanitarian crisis in both Lebanon and Gaza. Civilian casualties are mounting, with reports of deaths and injuries on both sides. The relentless violence has forced thousands to flee their homes, seeking refuge in makeshift shelters. Hospitals are struggling to cope with the influx of casualties, facing shortages of essential medical supplies. The international community is scrambling to provide humanitarian aid, but the ongoing fighting makes it extremely difficult to reach those in desperate need. Section 6. The fragile hope for peace. As the violence rages on, the hope for a peaceful resolution seems increasingly fragile. The streets are filled with the echoes of conflict, and the scars of war are visible everywhere. The US, along with other global powers, is engaged in intense diplomatic efforts to broker a ceasefire and bring the parties back to the negotiating table. These efforts are crucial, yet fraught with challenges. However, deep-seated mistrust and conflicting interests make a lasting peace elusive. The history of animosity and the complexity of the issues at hand add layers of difficulty to the peace process. The path forward requires a commitment from all sides to prioritize dialogue over violence and to protect the lives of innocent civilians. It is a call for humanity to rise above hatred and seek common ground. The international community must stand united in demanding a de-escalation of the conflict and a renewed push for a peaceful resolution. Solidarity and collective action are essential in these trying times. The alternative is a catastrophic escalation with devastating consequences for the entire region. The stakes are high and the cost of failure is unimaginable, making the pursuit of peace an urgent necessity.